All right, what is up? Welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is Tank Kramer with Brandman Brandon, Brian the Grizzly, and we are going to talk about the season 2 finale of one of the best shows on TV right now, Interview with the Vampire.
Mhm.
Holy crap. That's it. What is it? That's the end. That's what was the title was like a perfect title. These titles are great.
The titles are terrific, right?
It's like
Yeah.
they really care about what they're doing. They're watching it and they're saying, I care and I'm going to do this perfectly. And they're not disappointing. They're really not.
It's called And That's the End of It. There's nothing else. As of there's nothing else, and it's like there's still so much more, and it's so great. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about that. We'll get into some of our likes if we have any dislikes and stuff like that, and kind of see where we are at the end of this season, getting ready for season 3. I know me and Brandman, we talked about season 3 last week with the announcement, so you can check that video out right above Brian's head. But we'll start off with Brandman. Just how'd you like it? What you think about the final season or final episode?
Man, where to begin? I was extremely satisfied with this. Just everything. From the way Louis' revenge unfolded to just the performances overall to a lot of the stuff, a lot of the hints they dropped for what's to come in the future. You know, I loved how it was self-contained, but it still left the window open for more. And as we know, as of last week, we are getting more. We're getting another adaptation of the next book, The Vampire Lestat, which I'm just really really excited about. I think that they really put their foot in this one. The actors brought their A game. Jacob Anderson and Sam Reed. They were just running the show on this episode. Especially. I I was just sitting there like this, just like all in the screen, invested. I didn't even look at my phone once. Yeah, it was. It was. I don't even think words can do it justice. They just really brought it overall with this. It was incredible. Um, I like that it kind of gave you a sense of finality, but at the same time, it lent itself to more. So I can't wait for the next season. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Like when Lestat said he was working on his music, I was like, dude.
On his fake keyboard, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't mean to like sidetrack, but at the end where I'm like, "Where's the music coming from?" 'Cause I'm like, "It's really freaking loud," and then he tells Siri to stop the music. I was like,
Right.
"This place is barely being held up. You have Siri in the house."
You have Siri in there.
It's his home. This is where he was. This is where he and Louis lived. That's where he and Louis lived. So that's it.
You have Siri. I just thought it was funny, but yeah. Cool. What about you, Brian?
I mean, it was a episode that was so romantic, and it surprised me. So you thought the romantic part was Armand, who sacrificed everything for Louis, and we're all going towards it. And no one knew what Daniel was about to say, because you knew Daniel had something up his sleeve, because Talamasca was sending him messages, whatever. But no one knew exactly what it was going to be. And when he said, "But did he?" But did he for real? about that? Could someone else have done that? And then you realize Lestat is the one who actually did it. He's the one who was actually controlling it.
Yeah.
My mind was blown. And I was like, "Oh, how did I not see this? How did I not think about this beforehand?" They just did such a good job. They cared about everything that was going on. And then the fact that Lestat let Louis walk away, he gave Armand, like he gave him to Armand, like just like, he let him walk away thinking that he was the bad guy when he risked it all. He gave all of himself and let it go and didn't say nothing for 70 years. 77 years.
Mhm.
That's crazy. I look, I've been married. I love my wife. I love 77 years, bro. That's crazy. It just what I saw, it just was profound. And then the reunion between those two after all that time and all the love that was in the room, you felt the tension and love when they were there. And the fact that Lestat felt Louis walking in the house. And that other dude was like getting him rats because he was doing what Louis was doing all that time. Like he was, and you see that with partners that break up all the time, right? That they start acting like the person that all the stuff that other person wanted them to act like, they end up acting like that person, doing the same things, emulating because they miss them. And that's what we see. So that was another just little small tidbit in this big thing. And the feeling was just so strong. And the sadness with Louis and the respect and the love, it was so powerful, brought a tear to my eye. And then the power of Louis at the end was just awesome. I mean, they just really, really did it. And they did a good ass job.
Mhm.
The one thing I going back to like what you were saying with them in the house, and them like just spilling the beans
Mm.
that like about everything and just everyone being sorry, and it was so like therapeutic for like as the viewer, you're like watching him like because like even like the stat automatically walls up. He goes, "Oh yeah, oh well, let's compare how monstrous we are." And then Louis like, "No, I'm here to say sorry." And then it's like, "Okay, well, I'm sorry for all this shit I did. I'm sorry for all this shit I did." And it's just like, and then they bond over Claudia. And the one thing I appreciated the most was as much as I love them together and stuff, that moment wasn't about sexual romance. It was more of like love.
Mhm.
They didn't kiss. And I watched it back again to make sure they just hugged and just held each other. And I was like, that's what was important. It wasn't them like kissing or like being romantic. It was them actually loving each other and caring for each other and stuff like that. So I was like, that is like interesting because there's like very few times when you watch something you're like, oh, don't kiss. Like
Mhm.
episode 9 of Star Wars. Just saying, like, don't kiss. And with them, it would have made sense if they did, but I appreciated that they didn't because like it just it was sadness and grief and appreciating each other. It wasn't like, oh yeah, let's hook up, kind of thing. It was like, no, so
I
I,
didn't
I
realize that they kissed or not kissed, but I felt like it just was beyond that. It wasn't about the sexual tension, but romantic sometimes is just like as you said, the caring, the
yeah,
absolute. It's like love, unconditional love. Now it's no
yeah.
longer like with any conditions, any strings attached. It's just those unconditional. We have gone through this trauma that's brought us that only you and I know.
Hmm.
No one knows Claudia like you and I know her.
Yeah,
Mhm.
No one understands her death like you and I understand. And
yeah,
that's why I thought that whispering to each other and only them talking to each other and only hearing that was so profound because no one else knows how they feel or the love they have for each other for that in that moment in them. No one else needs to know. Even us on the outside, we don't need to know because you're not in there. It's only those two. I
yeah,
think that's profound.
yeah, yeah. That whole scene was just so that was so freaking good. I appreciate all that scene. Even going back to the major scene before that was the realization of the truth of everything that happened. Um, they gotta, yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
But what's up? But when they're in and finishing up the interview and then he starts to find out and it has the clip of like, oh, he was the director of the play, and it cuts back, and then
Oh my god, that was
it's
so
when he's telling him, like, oh, then you do this, then you walk over to Claudia, and he's like, well, what are you gonna do to Claudia? He's like, oh, the judges, and he gets mad. He goes, you don't understand the power that Claudia has. I was like, wow, it's like even though everything that happened the way it happened, he loved Claudia. He did, and he appreciated her, and he understood her,
and
and
he regretted. You saw, he
oh,
said, she
yeah,
looked at me like,
yeah,
Dad, save me. He regretted all that stuff. And
yeah,
that was, and you saw it bubbling to the top and overflowing for him. Like it was overwhelming for him. Like he couldn't handle all the emotion of that. So that was crazy. But
yeah,
I think Naya is right, actually. That's why
yeah. You got it.
she said Louis did kiss Lestat, but he kissed him on his forehead and on his cheek. Their
Yeah,
love transcended lovers, but now they're family. They're
yeah.
really, that's what's
That's
that unconditional love. It's no longer about that sexual stuff. It's more than that. Like you
more than
see, yeah,
Mhm.
when we people that have been together for 60 years, 50 years, people that have been married 50 years, the love that they have, that's what you see people that die together. Like one dies and the other one dies right next to after them because their connection is so deep. It's not just how you are, the sexual tension or any of that stuff. It's I can't survive without you.
Mhm.
You and I are almost one.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I meant, like a sexual, like, passionate kiss or something like that. Well, and they could have
Mhm.
done something like that. They could have easily thrown it in right at the end, and then I rewound it and watched it again because they had pulled back, and I think, like you said, they said whatever to each other or whatever, and then they came back, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna kiss, and they didn't. They just held each other. But yeah, they did kiss him, like, on the forehead or cheek or whatever, but it wasn't like like the kiss he gave to Armand to make Lestat jealous.
Yeah,
It was
jealous.
and I think they could have done it, and I don't think many people would have cared, but them not doing it, I think, had more impact on who they are to each other in that moment. That it's more than just lust. It
Mhm.
is true love. And that's interesting. You know, for both of the characters. Because I'm really curious to see where they go to. In the next
That's
season.
another thing. That's what, even thinking about the idea of what you guys talking about season 3 and the vampire Lestat and all that. Where does Louis fit into it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mhm.
I have no idea what they're gonna do. But we all don't know because they've changed so many different things, but they've changed for the good. So I have no idea.
Yeah. But is there anything like
Louis
everything else,
needs to be
like,
needed to be by himself for a bit.
yeah. Yeah, so, and that's what he said. He goes, I learned to but he said, like, I learned to be by myself.
Mhm.
But I
Like,
don't know for how long though.
he said, "Where's your
How long?
companion?" And
That's
he's
the
like,
question.
"I've been by myself for a while." Yeah,
Because I'm my own companion or something. So he said something along those lines.
yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
but I thought that was kind of interesting because, like, throughout this season, they're talking about how hard it is to be alone for so long. I mean, even was it the last season or last episode? I'm sorry, it's episode 7 when he's like, how, the loneliness, the depression of a vampire,
Of a
like,
vampires.
is so much more than a human. So it's like, how long is that, like, being single gonna
Mhm.
work for him? Yeah, but
Long enough
yeah,
to find yourself again. And that's the benefit of being a vampire, right?
mhm.
That's the benefit. You have the time. You can't always do that as a human, but as a vampire, you got eternity, so you can take a couple decades off and figure out what's
Even
going on.
what's his name? Lestat, when he was playing his, wooden keyboard, he's like, who is it? Pianist. She's like one of the most famous. What do you? Oh, what he said? Was it Martha Eckridge? Eckridge? I think he said it. And he's like, oh, I'll take her place because she retired. I just need 50 more years to get
You
better.
need 50 more years to get exactly what he says.
And for him, it's like, yeah, no big deal. But for her, who he's talking about, that's her entire life, So, but yeah, just like how he's able to, like, oh, she became one of the most greatest pianists in history, or considered one of the best. He's like, yeah, give me 50 years, I could do it.
Hey,
Mhm.
that reminds me of Groundhog Day.
Arthur, I
Arthur,
need,
why did you say that name?
I need to make that a clip. Make that a clip.
Oh man.
Yeah, but that was
Said
good.
Louis finally stopped being a pick me and chose himself. I could have jumped for joy. Lestat told him on the beach, on the bench in the first season, that he was the purpose in life was to enjoy his life and live freely.
Yeah.
But that's when he didn't realize the gift that he was giving. Gave him the gift of time, the gift to learn yourself, the gift to all that, and then to have a companion when it's time. But he didn't see it. He just saw all the negatives.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I mean, the whole beginning was of his raid. We didn't even talk about that because the end was so
Epic. Yeah.
big, and we were hyping up the flame, the fire, like for so long. We're like, oh, this is gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Finally, it's time to come and happen, and it was
It's like a
awesome.
footnote. It was like a
But
footnote.
then, like, yeah, everything at the end of the episode happens, and you're just like, oh, just mind blown, like
Dude,
you get the cool.
he killed all those vampires
Oh my
so
god,
bad, so fast. He was like, I killed 4 in the fire. I knew that means that means 4 left. So I killed
hated.
them. And then when
Yeah.
they did that, I blew these 2 people up because they had the gas. And like, it's just
Even the
so
way
matter of
he
fact.
kept calling Santiago Francis, and he
Yeah.
just kept messing with those, you got small
Mhm.
PP and this and that, and doing all this shit to like legit mess with his head. And I thought that was
Yeah,
the best, where he just like at the very end, like
he's giving him a
it was such a
Deadpool
good kill.
treatment.
That's what I'm saying. He'll give them the Deadpool. Francis.
Yeah, yeah,
Francis.
France. That is funny. I didn't think about that. It was yeah, everything. Even like when the two girls were like, oh, we're gonna go away, we're gonna go wherever, London or whatever, and like he like sparks it with his mind, and they're like not even close. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, he's
Mhm.
good, and they blow up, and
Boom.
like, as they're in the conversation with Santiago, like, and he can't
Mhm.
feel them, he gets all angry and shit. I was like, yeah, we
Oh,
need to get.
Santiago was getting so heated.
Oh, he was. I was
Are
like,
you mad,
oh, are you mad?
Francis?
Are you
You
mad? Yeah,
upset
are you
Mhm.
now?
mad? Yeah, like good. Like you didn't see them die, like I did. But what they did to the ashes was
Yeah.
it was so bad, man. That
As
was they used
makeup,
it as makeup. They put it in like popcorn toppings. Like he used it
use
as
pepper.
lubricant, quote unquote. Like
Yeah.
it was like, man,
But
like
all of that created the rage. So without
yeah,
that, without the rage, because when Louis, when he was in full rage, he was gonna murder everybody. He didn't
mhm,
care about anyone else.
yeah,
And I thought that was, I mean, it was still powerful on that. And the things that he was saying, like, um, I died. I was already dead. Only thing that lived
Mhm.
was my rage, and my rage was not going to be denied. And he was like, "How are you going to go fight 13 vampires?" And he was like, "Watch me.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'm
He's like,
already dead, so it doesn't even
dude,
matter. I'm already
yeah,
dead. I'm taking
yeah.
them out."
Yeah, and it was so, and he was so smart. But I know we talked about it before we got into this. His awakening, and when he starts talking to dead people, like drawing shit on the floor, hearing voices, like he's full on crazy, like meowing
Mhm.
at it, which like it's funny in context or without context, where you're just like, yeah, he was meowing, but like in that moment, you're like, he lost it. He's completely like that's it. Like he's gone. All that's there is the rage. Like that's the best way to like when he says that's all that was left, that's all that was left. Mentally, he was like checked out. Like
Mhm.
But isn't that like
it was-
any parent that will lost someone that's taken away from you that way, that
yeah,
someone did that, nothing, you're
yeah,
left with nothing but rage. You're a shell of yourself, and you're left with
yeah,
nothing but rage. But as a vampire, you have the ability of having time to heal all those things and all those wounds. Even though he tried to kill himself, so we do have to remember that.
yeah, yeah.
So Louis can finally be all the beautiful things he is and be them without apology.
Hmm, that's good.
That's
I like that.
that's huge. So Lestat still has to do the backlash of the first book, deal with the backlash of the first book, and now Daniel and Lestat have to protect Louis from the other vampire covens. I don't think so. I think Louis said he's about that life right now. He said that part.
Hmm.
Let's go. I have no problems. I'm about that life. My door's open. Come see me. Here's my address. Here's my phone number. Let's go.
Yeah. Wow.
Said Armand needs to take notes. He's been a side piece for 77 years. I pulled one out for him, but I hate him too much. Dude, how you 500 years old and still not okay with yourself?
But he never was. Even before he was a vampire, he was being, used, sex trafficking or, trying to like, and and then he was turned and he was just never he never had like a good grasp on being a what is like human. Louis
Yep.
had a family, and he understood, how the world kind of worked, so he was always holding on to that for so long,
But
you
even
know.
with that, he didn't learn how to deal with any of that without Lestat. How
Yeah,
to actually be that human.
yeah,
Because he was born in a time where being a black man in the South in New Orleans didn't afford you that.
yeah,
Hmm.
yep,
He says, I'm a companion enough for myself. That was awesome.
yeah,
So, Lestat's going on tour is going to cause people to want to attack him as well as Daniel being a bestseller and making all the money and going on TV shows and talking ish about everybody, even other writers.
Hmm.
So you're a
That was
hack. He said it on TV like you're a hack, bro. You're
yeah,
awful.
yeah. That was good, man. I was giving like I was laughing at that.
that was
Even
hilarious.
yeah, good for that show where it's like, oh, we're gonna make you cry, all right, we're gonna make you laugh a little bit and get you ready, for the next season.
Hmm.
But yeah, like it was super good. It was super super funny. He's up there like in a Good Morning America kind of like TV show,
Hmm.
and
He
it's like,
curses a guy out.
oh yeah, yeah, that was great. But also,
That
I
was
don't know if
great.
they can attack Daniel because he's a public figure. Like if he gets
Mhm.
So
goes,
now you're bringing
yeah,
everything onto yourself now. Yeah.
yeah, because right now there's still a lot of people that don't believe it, and I'm sure like the vampires in charge and all the publishing companies and stuff, like they all it's fake, it's not real, it's not real. But if he goes missing, puts a little bit more, legitimacy to what he
To all
wrote.
the claims and all the books.
Yeah.
This is a good question where she brings up. Louis should definitely kill Armand, but after being with him for 77 years, he does love him in his own way.
Hmm.
Does he?
I don't know, man, because
Hmm.
like you just found out that like the dude that saved you, right? That like that one little thing that you were holding on in the relationship, and you find out it was false. It's
Mhm.
like, dude, that's the only reason I was with your boring ass for 77 years. It's because you saved my life back then. So I don't know.
I mean, if you
Honestly,
really in
loved him
love,
or just
can you
dealt
kill
with
yourself? August 8th, 1983 at 7:27 p.m., whatever it was, whatever he said that time period.
it.
Like you walked into the sun because you was that unhappy with him. And
Yeah, yeah. And also, it's like the last time he saw Lestat was like he kissed Armand. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be with him, and that's gonna be your death." So it's kind of like if we
you're
break up,
together
then
for
Lestat was
in
right.
spite.
Yeah, yeah. You're in spite, and you kind of like, yeah. I don't think it might have been love at some point. At least maybe like lustful love, but I don't think it's not the same of what Louis and Armand or Louis and Lestat have.
Mhm.
You're right. It was 1973, not 1983. Yeah, you're 100% right.
Yeah, because
Uh,
we're gonna get the '80s next season, I think.
yeah, exactly. Well, no, 73, you understand. So what we just saw was now. So
Yeah.
yeah. Louis definitely went on a huge character arc. I'm glad he's out of his own whiny phase. Is now owning the night because he was
Hmm.
whiny for real. And it was starting to get annoying. Like the motorcycle kill was amazing.
Yeah, it was. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Just if Lestat and Louis
Mm.
get together again, their roles are definitely going to be reversed. I don't. I
Ooh,
think
They'd
if
have to
Lestat
be.
and Louis got back together, I think they would be actual partners.
more equal.
Yeah. Finally being able to see each other for, in a relationship, that's your goal, right? Is that to be in a relationship with
Mm.
a partner, someone that you can share everything with. And there's no dominance, there's no nothing. Maybe them getting together. Yeah. This will be the first time that they can actually be partners.
Mhm.
Ma- Makes sense. I was gonna say, like, now I'm thinking about it, like, oh, Lestat was in pain for all that time, but also it's like he also buried himself for 100 years because his first boyfriend died. So he's a little bit over exaggerator, just a little bit, but nonetheless, it was still, I think him and Louis' relationship is different. But yeah.
Considering what kind of character Louis was in the source material, Jacob Anderson didn't need to bring his A game, but he did anyway.
Definitely better Louis.
Unpopular opinion: did you ever think that Santiago might have had feelings for Claudia because he was stalking her before she went to befriend Madeline? Do you think that was Claudia was collateral?
Hmm.
I
I
never
never gave that any thought.
Yeah, I never got that. But looking back at it,
Yeah.
That makes sense.
good. I would have to go back and watch it and see how he is in those episodes.
I always thought that he was using her to get the coven, but could he have had feelings for her? Maybe, but I thought he was always just using her.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So he was also a starving vampire, which led him to going even deeper into his madness. That's true. He was on the brink of death.
Right there.
He didn't even know he was screaming out.
Yeah.
The other covens have vampires that are over thousands of years old. So as confident as Louis is, he's still only 100 years old. He definitely needs backup. But what Knox says, he also has the blood of Lestat, who has the blood of Akasha. So I'm not worried about him. So Akasha is important, and the fact that you what did Lestat say? I have to be willing for you to kill me.
Yeah.
That's how powerful he is. Like that's the blood that's running through his veins. I
Hmm.
have to be willing for you to let you kill me. It's not just going to happen. Go ahead. Yeah, but I'm not. I'm all for Louis having people having his back regardless. Yeah. The fact that Daniel despises Armand and is now going to want and ache to be around his maker is really sick. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
going to be a problem. That is the issue.
Hmm.
But that's gonna be interesting, though. I kind of want to see them together to see that hatred for each other. 'Cause
I
I'm sure
wonder if
Armand
he's going to continue to
Daniel is
push Armand's buttons. Daniel just continues to do it.
Oh yeah, you know he will. You know he will.
yeah.
Uh, Louis was whining throughout the Anne Rice books. This series did a great thing by making him evolve into a stronger person.
Hmm.
I agree with that
It was
100%.
very much a necessary change.
Yeah. Yeah.
The reason why I thought about Santiago's was hearing what he did to her ashes. It was petty. It really
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was almost like you're intentionally trying to hurt for
Hmm.
just because you're upset about something that is. It doesn't seem like it's just a regular upsetness. This seems like you trying to really go after it. Like, why are you hating so much?
Yeah. Yeah. And then, like, if that's all true, because right now you're just kind of going off of that, but say if it is true, then like Armand was cool with that too. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You know? Oh,
Armand was literally directing.
oh
Like,
yeah,
wasn't like he
direct
was fearful directing. He was involved directing,
taking
giving
notes.
notes in the sideline, like it's on the sides and putting things in, and
Yeah,
letting people know what's on the footnotes and header and all this other stuff. And that was crazy seeing it and
Mhm.
realizing that he was literally rehearsing with Lestat the entire time. And
yeah,
that Armand was going to let Louis die with Claudia.
yeah,
That was all part of his plan that he wrote.
yeah. To show you how much of like a shitty person Armand really is. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like he goes, "I'm over you. Just I'm gonna let you die." But the one thing that I thought was
Mhm.
kind of interesting was like a few was it the last episode? I think was it Brian brought it up or one of you guys brought it up? That Sam being in two places at the same
Yep.
time, and we were just like, oh, maybe that was like whatever. And then it's like actual part of the story. So like as the viewer, if you caught it, like good for you because it did play a role in the end, because Sam was the only
Mhm.
one that survived. That's
Yeah.
where they got the script with all the notes in it, was from the new DJ Sam, which is funny. But yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
he wears a helmet and he's a great EDM.
yeah,
To Louis should have never left Daniel with Armand. That was stupid.
yeah,
That was really dumb.
yeah.
I agree.
Rashid left. Where he's like Louis kept calling
Rasheed, where are you? He was like,
Mhm.
too
like
bad, bro. I told you to get out.
yeah. But also, even if you didn't know he was part of the Telemasca group, it was just like, you think that guy's gonna chill here after like you two are having this fight? Shit, like if I was to help, I would like take off too. It's like, nah, man. Like y'all like are past like throwing plates at walls. Like you want to kill people. Like I'm good. Yeah. Like
I
Luke
agree.
Daniel's a dumb one for not taking off.
He should have left with him. He should have grabbed his stuff and ran out the door.
Yep.
Mhm.
Like, he was like fumbling around. He was like, "Oh, what do I take? Motherfucker, nothing. You just run." Like what? You just run out that door as fast as you can.
So I'm pretty sure the Talamasca saved the files and would have published it anyway. Agreed.
Yeah.
Said
Mhm.
Rasheed better be in the Talamasca show. Oh yeah, he needs to be. But all that super spy. He's like James Bond 007. So Louis left Daniel Armand because he's so used to being a master and Armand licking his boots.
Mm,
Mhm.
I wonder. So, but Louis didn't go and kill Armand. He's like, if you touch him, I'll kill you. He ain't gonna do nothing.
yeah.
So, if you believe that, challenge me. Do it. Challenge. See the last one we got right now. I love how Louis changed the penthouse. It looks bright and cheerful. No more dreary dead trees and stuff like that.
Uh,
Mhm.
He called Tyrone, told him to come pick up his crap. Take Armand's stuff out with him. Come pick your crap up. I'm out.
also,
I'm
was
out.
Claudia's dress on display before? I can't remember.
I don't believe so.
No, like I can remember. Like here, it was very obvious. Like it was because like when he did his shit talking to the rest of the world of the rest of the
Mhm.
vampire world. Like the yellow dress was right behind him, hung up and nice displayed, lit up and all that. So I was like, I don't remember seeing it on the wall before. So I don't know. Yeah, no, it wasn't okay.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So he had Claudia's dress and a portrait of Paul, the two people he loved and lost.
So those are our thoughts for the season finale of Interview with the Vampire. We want to hear from you guys. Leave your comments down below. If you're watching on the replay, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate all you guys coming in throughout all the whole season and all the episodes we've been doing, giving us your thoughts, your theories, your reactions, all that good stuff. So we appreciate all you guys in the replay gang checking us out. And everyone in the live, thank you guys so much. But if you are watching live, stick around because we got to move on to our next topic for the night.